Jesse, cue it up. Everybody in their places. It's time to go.
Are we rolling? Yeah, we're rolling. Okay, let's get it done, everybody. Let's go.
Hey, Ragan, how's my hair? Is it okay?
Poxy, they can't see you.
All right, come on, let's go. It's toots, people. Poxy, start on page 4. Get the lines right this time.
Right, I got it this time, I swear.
4, 3.
Come on. It's time for the Ghost of Hollywood.
Well, hello, wall crawlers. I'm Poxy Leonard here with Miss Ragan, and we'd like to welcome you to another very special episode of The Ghost of Hollywood.
Tonight, or today, depending where you are out there in time and space, Poxy and I are excited to announce our guest for the show, and that is none other than the incredible Jamie Brewer.
Born with Down syndrome, Jamie has made it part of her life's work to bring attention to people with developmental and intellectual disabilities, especially in the entertainment industry where she has proliferated as an actress in theater and in front of the camera.
Jamie is also no stranger to the modeling world and marked a significant point in the industry's history when, in 2015, she walked for Carrie Hammer during New York Fashion Week.
And then there is her recurring role for American Horror Story, first as Addie, later as Nan, and then Marjorie in Hated to Follow.
And even though I have little doubt that several of you are probably well acquainted with American Horror Story, for those who aren't, it's worth noting these performances Jamie has taken on because each character is of their own, involved in a narrative world that has little to no correlation to the others. And even though Addie would be Jamie's breakout role, it's really Nan that cements her work on American Horror Story.
You know, I agree with you because of how essential Nan's character is to the third season, Coven, appearing in nearly every episode and pivoting essential points of the story until her ultimate demise by drowning. More on that later.
I'm also really excited to ask Jamie about her work in short films and to discuss some of her stunt work she has done throughout her career.
I was reading about that in the notes. You know, though, her recent appearance in the music video Delta Spirit's What's Done Is Done was actually pretty cool. It's all very well put together, and she appears as an old and a young person through the flashbacks in the video, so I've definitely got some makeup and special effects questions to ask for sure.
Alright, we've said enough. Let's take a quick break, and when we return, Poxy and I will sit down with Jamie Brewer to discuss all the aforementioned and plenty more.
That's right, wall crawlers, so stay tuned because you are listening to The Ghost of Hollywood. What's up, wall crawlers? Going insane for the new episodes of The Ghost of Hollywood? Well, check out our website at theghostofhollywood.com for complete access to our entire second season.
And don't forget to listen, like, and subscribe to The Ghost of Hollywood wherever you get your podcasts for all the latest updates and information.
And while you're at it, sign up for our monthly newsletter.
Alright, everybody, stay tuned because you're listening to the worst in cult, trash, and cinema. This is The Ghost of Hollywood.
Welcome back to The Ghost of Hollywood. I'm Poxy Leonard here with Miss Ragan, and we are excited to be here tonight with actress and model Jamie Brewer. Well known as a pioneer for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, Jamie would make history as the first person with Down syndrome to walk the runway in New York Fashion Week in 2015. And in 2018, she would win a Theater World Award and the New York Drama Desk Award for Best Featured Actress in a Play for her performance as Amy in the title role of Amy and the Orphans. Prior to that, Jamie would take on the prolific role of Adelaide Addie Langdon in American Horror Story. She has also acted in and produced for the 2019 movie Turnover, starred in several shorts, and the list goes on and on. All of that said, Jamie, thank you for joining us on The Ghost of Hollywood. How are you today?
Hey, good, and thank you for having me on.
I want to take things back. So, I've read that, you know, you've done a lot of stage training at the Groundling School. What about your time there has allowed you to develop your skills as an actress and performer?
Whenever I had the time.
I understand. You stay pretty busy these days. Now, you've done a lot of work in the theater, right?
Mm-hmm. I have a theater background.
So, can you tell us how you were introduced to theater, and when did you know that was what you wanted to do?
Well, I started in during the summer vacation of 8th and 9th grade.
All right.
There's a College for Kids program that gave college credits in learning all the basics of theater, from the production, from everything with the production world, from set design, from everything. I first got introduced to the theater world in 8th grade.
Now, so you've done, at that point, when you started working, were you doing a lot of set design, or did you immediately start getting into acting? What was your first interest when you got involved with the theater?
When I first got involved, and again, through 8th grade till now, actually, from 8th grade till now, from 8th grade, also a high school drama club as well. I went to high school in Texas. I was in a drama club there. And then after high school, I joined a theater there, which is also the Greek god of theater and wine, Dionysus.
Oh, all right. That's a good one.
So it's travel. Basically, it's travel from 8th grade till now.
And you moved around a little bit, didn't you? Because you were in Southern California, and then you were over in Texas and back. I'd listened in previous interviews. You had mentioned that you'd kind of traveled around a bit when you were younger.
Yes. All to do with my family and job promotions and all that.
You have performed in television, for quite a few years now, and you've performed on several shows. Now, a few of them are Southland, Station 19, and Switched at Birth. How did you begin working in television, and what led to your appearances on these particular programs?
Well, what led me into it, I did two PSAs, public service announcements, after high school.
Okay.
And then right after that, I got into AHS.
All right. Oh, yeah. So that was quick.
And then it went into Southland, Switched at Birth, and Station 19.
Now, so you did AHS first, right? So then, yes. What led to your auditioning for American Horror Story? How'd you get the role?
Excited to work with Ryan Murphy, for one. Also, on how I got it, my agent at the time, she submitted me for it, and as soon as I got in audition, I was completely off book.
All right,
was surprised the casting. From there, I got in the industry term was pinning. I had to wait for a little while to get another actor in. As soon as another actor got in, the weight got off. And I immediately came in as Addie.
All right, explain pinning to me.
Pinning is basically an industry term called you hold an actor until another actor comes in to another character that's already like very much developed in some way, and then that pin gets off. It's a holding period.
Oh, all right. Now, when you were working on, while you went to American Horror Story, when did you end up? Did this kind of open the doors for you and end up working on Southland and Station 19?
It did open the doors. Yeah, it did. And I'm a huge fan of Southland and Station 19 because there's also a personal connection as well. Because Southland deals with policemen. I have some family that was a policeman for years.
So with that, you're in the episode Heat. Now, what is a one-off performance in some of these shows like, as opposed, because in American Horror Story you appear as Addie, and then of course later you come back as Nan, and then you come back again later on, and then you reprise Addie and Nan. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But now, what is it like working in one-off performances on television as opposed to a reoccurring role?
There's a slight difference, but not that much. It's just a different kind of pacing.
Did you, so when you transitioned from theater acting to acting from a camera crew, did you have any challenges with that?
Actually, no, because I not really, to be honest with you. I had a good theater background that was the springboard into TV and film.
I'll say acting in a theater is probably much harder than acting on film because you've got to do it every night. You got to do it right the first time, and there's a lot of people watching.
Yeah. That was the difference. Now, some people would call that a challenge. For me, it's not. It's a difference because in theater, the audience is right in front of you, and it's nightly.
Do you find performing in theater more exciting than performing in film?
I like all of it. To be honest with you, having that audience in front of you in theater and with the TV and film, the audience is, you're at home.
In American Horror Story's Coven, you took on the role of Nan, who in the show has all sorts of incredible powers and is a witch, right? So how did you approach the role of a character who has like abilities such as telekinesis and clairvoyance?
A lot of studying, for one. I study the script as I get the script right. As soon as I get the script, I have this process, and what I do is I read the script, and as I read it, I highlight my lines and tab the lines ahead and behind me.
What about when you're working for with the movements in the role? Because there's a lot of, you've got to do like special effects. You're like making people look like they're being thrown across the room. You've had to die on screen. So what do you do when you have to work with these for these serious moments? How do you prepare for that? Is it the same sort of approach?
Same sort of approach as staying calm.
That's true. How do you stay calm when you're dying? How do you stay calm when you're acting like you're dying?
The key is to listen to soothing music as you're studying the script. I'm a very Zen girl.
Okay.
So I listen to Zen music. I zen myself out.
All right, I like that. Now, since 2017, you've acted in shorts, and you've acted in a bunch of shorts, but some of the ones here that I've got noted are Whitney's Wedding, The Kill Off, and then we talked about Taco Tuesday a bit before we went on the air. So what can you tell us about your work on these projects?
Well, Whitney's Wedding and Taco Tuesday are with a group called Easter Seals.
Okay.
this during an Easter Seals film challenge, where it's a set time to do them. Whereas with the difference to Kill Off, I was actually I actually had to travel for that one. I actually traveled to Sydney, Australia for Kill Off.
Oh, well, how long were you in Australia?
For about a month or a couple of months.
No, that's pretty cool. So you spent some time over there working on that one then.
Yeah, and I had to unlearn a new style of dance as well for that. I'm also a fair dancer.
Oh, all right. I cannot dance, so I
had to learn, and I apologize for the video thing.
No,
but besides that, I had to learn a style of dance called crump.
Oh yeah, because I had read there's a short you do where that's into Kill Off, in the Kill Off, right? When you meet each other over crumping. That's kind of like your mutual thing there, right? Yeah. So
I learned crump for that.
How long did it take you to learn how to get crumping?
Not very long.
No,
I'm a quick study actually. I see some of the basic steps, and then I go right for it.
Oh, all right. Now, so you talk about the other ones being a film challenge, and I had read a little bit about that. So with that being time constraints, right? So are you talking about from basically from conception to completion, you have a set amount of time as a film challenge to kind of create the entire short in that frame of time and then enter it into the contest? How does this work?
Yeah. You don't get the actual theme until you actually you can't write the script ahead of time.
Okay.
You have to wait until you get the theme of what they're wanting us to do.
How long do you have from the time that you begin writing it until it's completed as part of the challenge?
It's usually we start development on the scripts, like Whitney's wedding and Taco Tuesdays. Well, it's like we'll get the theme on one day, and then the next day we start in development on the script.
Oh wow, so that's fast.
And then from there, the next day we start filming.
How long did you film for it? Is it like usually kind of like a quick 24-hour period for a challenge like that?
Pretty much.
With Addie Langdon, you've mentioned that this character presented a lot of unique challenges to you in developing the roles. So can you tell us more about this experience and how you prepared for it?
Saving my voice, for one. There's one scene that I had to really yell.
Do you have to read with the other actors often? Like, are there constant table reads or a lot of development and blocking before you actually shoot for
blocking, there is some. There is some on the blocking. The table reads for not that I know of.
All right, cool. So you all, how long did you, now because you've played different parts, how long when you were working on Addie in the first season, how long did you work on that in production before, the car comes? I don't want to ruin it yet because we're going to ask about stunt work. We're going to ask about
that leads into stunt work.
Yeah.
This is really great. I do my own stunts.
But what about that appeals to you?
That world, it's something that fascinates me.
So what stunts have you had to do? Because it's dangerous.
Yeah, with the car, there was a stunt double there. There was a stunt woman there, a stunt double there. There was the replacement.
Okay.
But Jessica Lange, which was my mom, she insisted that it had to be me.
Oh.
Oh, so Jessica Lange's got you on the spot to do this, huh?
Yeah, she's my daughter in the show. It has to be her.
What'd you say when she said that? Were you like, all right, I'll do it? Or you were like, hey, why you put me on?
I was like, okay, then the lady, her name was Nadine.
Yeah.
Lady showed me the position. I was basically like, all right. But the time I said, all right, I was all right on the ground.
Yeah. So what was like? How was it working with Ryan Murphy on American Horror Story? And
he's incredible. He has an amazing cast and crew that rotate through every single season.
Yeah, I know. So that's what the rotating parts. What led to you coming back to work on the show again?
The thrill of it and being part of it, being Addie in the first season. There's also a neat little take on this as well. The name with the first season with Addie Langdon, Adelaide Langdon.
Yes.
The name Langdon is the actual last name of the actual doctor that first discovered Down syndrome.
Oh wow, that's incredible. So
it's a personal take as well for me as well because I have Down syndrome myself. Really touched me in that way because it shows that, like, okay, thanks to Ryan Murphy, I'm putting Down syndrome on the map for horror.
Yes.
So that was actually a big thing for me.
That's true.
I'm a variety girl at heart with different genres, but doing horror right off the bat, thrillers. It's incredible.
Now, but if you had to choose, what genre would you go with? Do you have a preference?
Well, continuing horror, but also I'm starting to get into more comedy.
I was going to say you're incredibly charismatic, so you're able to have a really good comedic representation. You know, like say like, all right, the car scene in Whitney's wedding, right? When you're out in the car.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, but you don't have any hair, you know that.
Yeah. At least I have hair.
Yeah.
And that was actually with a friend of mine, actually. The agent is the agent. Her name's Gail Williamson. It was her son Blair. We're really good friends. It was a brother-sister thing. It was my wedding, but it was a brother-sister thing. We've been really good friends for quite some time.
Oh yeah, how did you meet Blair?
Was the one that I said that line to.
Have you worked on any other projects together?
Only Whitney's wedding.
Does now when you with American Horror Story, did you work with the same film crew each season, or does the film crew change? What's it like working with them?
The film crew rotates.
Like they're just kind of swapping out, like.
Yes, they swap out.
All right, that makes sense.
It depends also when they're needed, as well, because it's different seasons, and it's not the same season back to back. The first season is called Murder House. Second season is Asylum. Third is The Coven, which is Nan.
They're all very isolated. Like they're their own storylines in a sense.
Yes. So each crew, some crew members say that we're part of the first one, but some like the camera crew, they will rotate.
All right, that makes sense. Now, what is it when some of the same recurring casts that you've worked with, and then you've had like really, you've had some star casts, like say with Coven, you work with Kathy Bates. So
yes.
What was that like? Was that a unique experience?
It's a fun experience because with Nan and her mind,
being
clairvoyant, there's a neat thing with her that I could actually hear her mind. It's basically the inner voice that they have. I can hear it.
Now, when they drown you, when you get drowned at the end, how did that play out? Did you just have to like hold your breath, or what's? The drowning scene. At first, I was a little bit nervous, but the director on that, as well as a lot of the crew, was like, "You'll be fine." So just go with it.
With the director on that one, I was like, "I trust you with my life."
Well, you have to, I guess.
I said that to him, and it meant a lot to him.
No, go ahead, Ragan.
All right, so let's talk about Amy and the Orphans for a bit. So, in April of 2018, you won a Theatre World Award as well as a New York Drama Desk Award for Best Featured Actress in a Play for your title role as Amy. How did it feel to win these awards and be acknowledged for your work?
It's amazing being a lead character, a lead role that has that Down syndrome in a year that was further back than mine.
Yeah.
Winning those awards, it was truly incredible. It was a complete shock for the drama desk because I was in a category where there was some really good names, and all of a sudden I hear everyone hears Amy and the Orphans and Jamie Brewer. And Lindsay Ferrantino was surprised. We were all surprised by it.
Now it's been reported, right, that you will reprise the role of Amy. And is there still work on a Netflix original adaptation of this? And if so, is Lindsay Ferrantino, the playwright, is she attached to it? And if this is all going to go, are you excited to work with her again?
Very. Lindsay and I are both very excited working on this film.
Oh, all right. Have you started working on? Are you able to discuss it, or
not yet?
All right, so it's still a secret. All right, still a secret.
Yeah, still a secret. Very hush hush.
How do you feel now? If I'm able to...
He's also all excited to also be directing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How do you feel like this will, say, hypothetically, how do you feel like this will translate when you go to work on the screen as opposed to on the stage?
I think it'll translate really fun. I can tell you that now.
When you travel, did you travel with this performance with Amy and the Orphans? Was this a traveling production at any point, or?
Well, Lindsay and I first started. Lindsay first started Amy in Yale School of Drama. So we first started at a school called Yale School of Drama, and then from there till now, it's been a long process.
So in 2019, you acted in and co-executive produced the film Turnovers. So this is your first producing credit in a film. This makes me wonder, If you weren't acting, what other departments would you like to be involved in during production?
Well, stuntwork for one. Did I mention that? Also, two areas for sure that I really love is the behind the camera work with the writing, the producing, and the directing.
Now, when
I'm a multitasker.
when you've done the film challenges, what other stuff have you done outside of acting with that? Did you have to do any of the writing or the filming for that?
I helped with the writing for Whitney's wedding.
Is that the only thing you've worked on writing as far, or do you have an interest in writing outside of that?
Yeah, I'm constantly writing. Constantly, I'm learning from many things. I'm constantly writing.
Well, you probably, you read a lot of screenplays, I'm sure. So I guess that gives you a really good idea.
Yes, and also this is a neat, fun, quirky hobby of mine. Whenever I watch TV shows or movies, I study them.
What do you study in the movies when you watch them? What do you find most essential to study? Or do you focus on different things at different times, depending on what your interest is at the moment?
Different things, but one big area is the camera movement, the cameras.
Let's talk about your role as Jenny in Corsicania. Now, with this was written by Will Arbery, right? Now,
yes.
What was your experience like working on this production?
With Corsicana is truly incredible. Will Arbery has a sister with Down syndrome, which is her name is that name.
Okay.
So it's a brother-sister play where Will Dagger is an amazing man to work with, and he is an incredible brother on stage. It's a 4-person cast where it's a 2-woman, 2-man play, but it starts with a brother and sister.
All right. Now,
a lot of it's brother-sister. And for me, even the first time in a long time, having a brother and sister, first time doing a brother and sister play in a theater world, in the theater world, because I had a brother and sister with Addie,
yeah.
So it transitioned into stage. That was someone very different.
Now, did you know Will at all before you worked with him?
We've had some reads.
Yeah, some reads.
Play.
Did you have to rehearse together quite a bit before the actual performance?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that like?
Fun. I even got a chance to sing and dance. My first production where I kind of premiered some of my dancing.
Oh, all right. So what was that like getting into dancing for the first time on the stage?
Kind of neat because I begin the second act.
Mm-hmm.
with
Okay.
the dance and the singing are like the Dixie Chicks and all that. And Cowboy Took Me Away was the song that I was singing to.
Oh, all right. Was this one that you had to pick, or was this put in?
They chose it.
They chose it. How'd you feel about it?
Well, I'm a big country girl too.
All right, that's a good point.
Music, I am a variety, and I'm a big country girl.
Now, does his sister's name in the name of the play, does that come from the town in Texas?
Sort of.
Did you have to take any extra preparations to play the role of Jenny?
Well, the costumes are fun. And most of the time, I didn't always have to wear a lot of shoes. I was basically at home mostly, so I only basically had like socks for no amount of time, and then when transitioning to meeting the older man, which is Harold Surratt in the play. Yeah. That was the only time that I had to wear boots.
Oh, do you have any interest in costume designing?
Yes, I am.
Oh, really? Can you tell me more about that?
That's another department as well that I want to get into, that I'm trying to get into, is clothing design. I actually love it.
Now, in 2021, you would appear in the film Cherry as Shelley. What was it like working with the Russo brothers on this movie?
First time working with directors and brothers, for one.
Did they get along? You know, brothers can be.
Yeah,
That's good.
And working with an amazing cast. There was another brother and sister thing as well. So I played a sister in 3 different things. Do you
have siblings in real life?
No, I do not. Uh-huh. I'm an only child in my family, even though I do have a mini Yorkie that I call a sister.
All right, what's your name of your mini Yorkie?
Her name is Bella.
All right, that's a sweet name. She's my
sister. I'm the only child, but I have a Yorkie. And I have a pure 100% Yorkie. That's my sister.
But you played. You've played the sister a lot, so you have. I mean, you know all about it when it comes to having to play a sibling, like you said. So.
Yeah.
Well, I really want to talk about What's Done Is Done music videos. So a lot of the video has like flashbacks and stuff, meaning you had to appear at different ages. So what was your experience like acting for this music video, and how were the aging effects like achieved?
Well, first off, Michael Parks Randa is behind that as well.
All right.
He was the one who directed it. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you guys all have heard of the movie The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yes.
Zach Gossagagan and I were the main two. There's no dialogue in the music video at all. And it's all by body language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how do you approach that acting with pure body language? Because like you said, there's no lines, and you're also like performing in different periods because you're younger and some of it in your age.
Yeah, that was a neat transition. I have two different dresses. One's a younger version, one's an older version. The only transition besides the dresses that I had to change into at different times. One day it was actually raining. So it was kind of a rush to get myself ready.
Yeah.
I'm in the rain.
Where is this? Is this the scene where you're at the ballpark? Is that one? Or,
yes, okay, the ballpark. Okay. Yes, yeah.
And you had to read a book in that scene. So like the book's getting wet too?
It was more like a journal.
All right.
And it was kind of neat. I was sitting in the bleachers.
Did you know who was the other actor in the music video? Did you know them?
Zachary Gossagagan. He's the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm sorry. You just said that. Now, you haven't worked together on anything else though? That was it, correct?
No, we have not. That was the only one.
Was he the first person?
We want to work on more.
And y'all had to kiss on screen. Was he the first person you've had to kiss on screen? I mean, I don't mean to be invasive.
To do that. We chose to do that. And I chose to do that. And Michael was like, I don't know about the kissing too much, but the way that we chose the time, it was just by sheer luck and chose the best timing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really compassionate video. Like I know, like it. I was watching it and I was kind of looking over at my partner Beth, and I was like, I love you. It
It's also neat because for the first time in a long time, you don't really see a lot of disability and a lot of Down syndrome in music videos. So Michael Parks Randa wanted to highlight that.
Have you done music videos prior to this?
No.
So you hadn't. You had only done short films and movies. So do you think you'll do other? Well, you've done stage acting too. Sorry, but you've done. Do you think you'll do any more music videos? Would you like to?
I want to.
How long did you have to work on it? Was it pretty quick?
We were only there for about a couple of days. Not very long.
But it showed in it showed in some film festivals, didn't it? It was really well received.
Yeah. And there's also one scene as well, and this is a new thing. I almost got the Michael Parks Randa wet at one point, but I didn't.
All right.
There's one scene with me in a swimsuit, and that swimsuit was actually mine. It's actually mine.
Oh, did you brought that on set with you? Did they just ask you to bring a swimsuit, and that's the one you brought?
We kind of figured that it was when she's younger.
Okay.
Doing a younger version.
Yeah.
A lot younger version. So there's the flashes back from the younger version on how Zach and I made this backstory.
Okay.
For this music video that we've been married for a good amount of time. Mm-hmm. So it flashes back to when we first were seeing each other and dating. That's with the swimsuit.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the younger dress and then the older.
When you had to throw baseball in this one too, didn't you?
I did.
Had you ever? Do you
have any experience in sports?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have a family member that used to play softball.
Oh, all right. Well,
so I'm a sports girl.
All right, who's your team? Who's your teams?
For baseball, it's Angels and Dodgers.
All right.
Football, I'm a variety girl from Raiders, from Rams, also Seattle as well, the Seahawks.
Oh, you Seahawks fan. All right. If you're
Seahawks, Raiders, Rams, and occasionally the Steelers.
Well, I'm curious though. So you've acted in a few roles where you've been in a relationship with another character. What is that like? Do you have to take a different approach to that than you do when you're in a role where you're single?
Well, in a certain sense, it's kind of fun having a boyfriend.
Is it all right?
So, being single for a while, sharing the single side for a while. And then after a while, you get kind of like, okay, I need a guy. And that's one thing that's kind of fun with Nan. When it comes to Nan, that was the actual first time in having a boyfriend.
Oh, all right. So what was that like?
And with Addie, I had a crush on somebody. But in Heaven, I got a boyfriend.
What was that like?
Well, Alexander Draymond is the actor.
Yeah, yeah.
It was actually really fun, actually.
Were you nervous?
No.
No? Was he nervous?
No.
Just no, I understand it. But back to the music video real quick. So with the aging, was that all just makeup, or was there any special effects? So it was makeup. Did you have to spend a lot of time in makeup for those scenes, and was it shot like continuously, or did you kind of have to revisit the makeup each day?
On and off, each day, on and off.
Oh, how long did it take to put it on?
Not that long.
Oh, that's not too bad. That's what I was going to say. But in the video, I mean, like I said, it's really well shot too. It's really well done. Now,
no, thank you so much. That means a lot to me, and Zach, and to Michael.
Oh, awesome. Now, I want to discuss your work with the Texas Arc Board, which you were elected to at the age of 19. Now, can you explain to our listeners the purpose of the Arc Board and the goals you were able to achieve after being elected?
I've been a member of the Arc Board for about a year. And it was in Missouri City, Texas. And the actual county was Fort Bend County. I was not too far from, the band Sugarland?
Oh, yeah.
I was not too far from there.
All right.
So in my local art chapter, I helped with different things. I even became I started through the ranks from different things like treasurer and all that. I'm a good money girl, so I treasurer and all that with Fort Bend County. When getting with him, the money girl first, it also led me to for my local area. I'm also a president.
Yeah, that's what I was
president
reading.
for 2 years running.
Oh, all right. So what? And you were able to really push some serious stuff through and get a lot of the language changed, correct?
Yes. I through my presidents, through that whole chapter of my life, and being the Fort Bend County president for 2 years. Well, I was a huge advocate. I'm a huge advocate for many platforms. My platform is truly amazing. And helped with doing different activities for different things. And through there, I got to be asked to be part of a committee.
Okay.
As well. And it was when I was in this committee that we actually changed, and everyone in the disabled community hates the R term. And so with Texas, we wanted to abolish that.
And you were able to do that, right?
Yeah. And it was a huge success.
How did you do that?
It was through this committee that we were all together at one point that we chose to abolish the R term and change it to intellectual and developmental disabilities.
And that is the vernacular that sticks with this today, correct? So you were able to complete that.
Yeah, we changed the bylaws for the whole state.
Being that so many of our listeners work in the industry currently, how can they motivate this change to be able to bring attention to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities? And what are some of the organizations that you've supported and some of the activist work that you have done that they should learn more about?
Well, always learn, no matter what. Always learn. No matter what. Some of the organizations that a lot of my platform is also in are groups that are called Best Buddies.
All right.
Which is a really good one. It's also globally. International. And that's founded by Anthony Schreiber. And the Schreibers and the Kennedys. Also, I'm part of a World Down Syndrome Association, as well as also the National Down Syndrome Congress as well. I also am I support a group called Shane's Inspiration. All these have websites, so you can go to their websites to learn more about them. And I'm also I also do the DSALA.
Okay, what is that?
Down Syndrome Association of Los Angeles, and a lot of these also do buddy walks as well. The DSALA has a walk. Best Buddies have events like crazy. And I'm also part of my local area where I'm at now is the DSAOC, Down Syndrome of Orange County. I'm also currently on their board.
How long have you been on the board now?
Little bit over a year.
A little over a year. So you've stayed pretty busy with activist work through a lot of your life doing this, and you've seen a lot of the results of it. Now, this is a question you've been asked in an interview before that I found interesting. Now, what are some of the high points of being someone who has Down syndrome? What are the advantages of this?
It's a blessing with everyone that I meet, and my family's blessed. It opens up amazing doors. And I'm part of a community that through the years that my family, I also, and this is another fun thing about me as well. When it comes to TV shows and movies, I find and write down really meaningful quotes from films, certain lines.
What are some of those quotes?
Well, one is, this also it goes along with your question. And Angela Bassett from Covenant Ethics says this in a movie. Akela and the Bee is the movie. You have 5,000 friends, and there's friends around you. There's 5,000 friends. And they're basically saying that no matter where you go, no matter where you're at, no matter if you travel, everyone that you meet are friends.
And that's a good way to view things.
Yeah, and pay it forward.
That is very true.
Well,
lean in and pay it forward.
So, your performances have been suspenseful, comedic, and emotional. Now, as a pioneer for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, what has been most effective in bringing diversity to mainstream film, television, and theatrical productions?
Well, casting is key. Casting is in taking a chance on individuals with disabilities and giving us a chance to show what we can really do. Because with a lot of stuff that's out there, from Chris Burke to others as well, is showing who we are.
What are some of the casting directors, or who are some of the casting directors you've worked with that have elevated this? The industry still has a long way to learn, but they're getting there. Everyone just needs to learn and give chances. As in another movie I like, try you fail, but the truest failure is when you stop trying. You always have to try. Well, so say going forward now, with when you produced when you produced on Turnover, are there some other projects that you are interested in working on that you may not act in, that you would just like to produce, or is there some stuff in theater that you've done? Do you do any coaching for younger actors or anything of that nature? I want to. All right. Well, that makes sense. I'm constantly learning. That's the key. And I'm also learning as well in different languages as well. Oh, what languages are you working on? I'm working on 3, but focusing on 2. All right, what are they? One is French. I'm not doing that one very often. But the 2 that I am focusing on are sign language. My goal with sign language is to become, that I want to try to do with sign language is to become an interpreter. As well, also another personal favorite of Jennifer Salinas is El Español, Spanish. Yeah, all right. I can speak a little Spanish. It's not good. I'm not good at it. They're basically saying you're poquito. Can you roll? Beginner. Are you able to roll your R's really well? That's what stops me. I can't roll my R's. It gets me as
I'm
well.
getting there. Once in a while, Jennifer is helping me as well with it.
Yeah, that's what I had. I had a teacher one time who would tell me with like rolling your R's, you would take your tongue behind your teeth and you would go de-te, 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 and I never got any better at it. But that was one of the methods I was given.
Yeah, one area that if you're interested in learning even more, I work with Rosetta Stone.
Oh, how is that? Does Rosetta Stone work well for you?
Yeah. Have you seen Turner?
I have.
What's really neat about that is that it brings in two communities.
Mm-hmm.
One is the Down syndrome community, and the other is the deaf community.
Yes, because like when they're in the booth and they're communicating by sign language.
Yeah,
I love that part.
Is that what drew your interest in sign language? Was working on Turnover, or did you have interest before that?
Before that, I've been learning.
When you were on set, did you have like, were you able to? Was that fun to be around them while they were doing that? Did you learn anything from them?
Yes, it is very fun. Very fun. And there was one cast member that was on there. She gave me my sign name.
What is your sign name?
It's basically, and I know you don't have your video,
Yeah.
but it's think of a regular heart,
Okay.
but upside down.
Oh, that's beautiful.
She gave me that sign.
How long did you work on Turnover for?
I worked on Turnover. Oh, that's a neat backstory as well to it.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. As I mentioned about when his wedding and Blair Williamson, Blair was already part of Turnover in the starting process of it. And Linda Palmer is the director. So they were trying to work the script. And Blair was like, I want a girlfriend in this.
All right.
That was me and Truly. Blair was like, I want a girlfriend.
So you got a
And
date on screen again. Here we go.
Yeah. And he was like, I want a girlfriend in this. So I noticed that one that might interest you. And her name's Jamie Brewer.
Oh.
Blair specifically wanted me. Because we've been friends for so many years. I've been friends with him, his long-time girlfriend that passed away several years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Years ago, and his mom. I'm really good friends with Blair, so he was like, "I want a girlfriend. I want Jimmy Brewer in this."
So you were excited then when you got the call? Did you even have to formally audition for it, or were you just on the cast?
I basically, thanks to Blair, I got in. Blair and his mom, I got in.
Now, what about now? So you've done some modeling work. How does your modeling work factor into your acting career? It keeps you pretty busy. Do you still do a lot of modeling work currently?
Not currently, but I want to get back into it again.
Oh, I understand.
That's more of the fashion world. I would love to dive in more.
Yeah, what was it like when you walked on Fashion Week back in? Well, this was 2015. How was that?
It's really incredible. My family and I were surprised at how much media coverage that the fashion world has, for one. And the designer, her name's Carrie Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
She is a huge fan of American Horror Story.
Yeah, I read a little bit. She had written about you in an interview online, or not an interview, but it was like an introduction for it, an introduction piece.
Yeah. So the dress she designed in. So the dress, and I still have the dress.
Oh, you got the dress still? Do you wear it at all, or do you just kind of keep it for memories?
Both.
All right.
I'll pull it out for Halloween once in a while.
All right.
Okay. The backstory to that is really incredible. It's really incredible. The main thing is that with the dress, it was inspired by HS Kevin.
Oh, okay.
So I basically portrayed Nan in the fashion world.
Was this your idea, or was this your idea, or was this the designer's idea?
Both of us.
Both of us are. So you kind of come to a piece on that one. That's cool though. Now with what are some other? Do you still work in theater? Do you have a lot of other performances outside of Amy and the Orphans that you've worked on in recent years?
Oh, two. I forgot to mention when I was in the 8th grade and 9th grade year.
Yeah,
I was part of a theater during that time as well, and they were short plays. I got to do Godspell.
All right.
And as well as I'm sure everyone knows about Dr. Dolittle.
Well,
Dr. Dolittle.
Who did you play?
I was with the version that I was in when I was younger. Do you remember the whole circus area?
Yeah, okay.
I was the ringleader's wife.
Oh.
I played Gertie. I was the wife. So I was actually there before Whitney's wedding.
Yeah.
Previously, when I was younger, I was already someone's wife.
So you've been married a couple of times. You've been dating on screen, playing sisters. What are some roles that
Younger, I was a circus ringleader.
Yeah.
Go from there, get into the single life, back to the single life, then back to having a boyfriend, and then in turnover having a husband.
What are some roles that you would like to take on as your career continues? Do you have some parts like, would you be interested in playing like, because you've played villains in some ways, and then.
Yeah, Nell was kind of a villain at one point because she had to give bleach to Patty the Pone.
Yeah. It gets that season's pretty crazy, especially like I remember like in the very beginning when they flipped the bus, and then there's Reagan and I were watching the parts that she got grossed out when like the boys, like when they go into the morgue and the boys' body parts are all in the bags.
That was actually called body parts actually. In that episode,
they were cow body parts.
No, not cow.
What'd you say they were?
No, the actual episode.
Yeah.
On that one was called body parts.
Oh, okay. All right, I understand. All right. Look, I misunderstood. It was
There's
called
no animals involved.
I was like, what the heck? Oh, wow. Going back to the 80s.
Even though in Coven, and she's another amazing actress, Lily Rabe.
Yeah, and
she worked with animals.
All right, so that would have been
I worked with a dog in the first season.
But in Coven, you performed for you're in 9 episodes in Coven, right? You're in that one for almost the entire season, right? Like 9.
Yeah, that's the bulk of it.
Yeah, how long did you work?
First season and third.
So was that how long were you all in production for that? Were you in that for several months, and did you have to fly back and forth or stay on set? How'd that go?
For Coven and for the last half of the 4th season as well, I stayed in New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Did you like spending time in New Orleans? Were you getting wild in New Orleans?
Not wild. I actually love it. But I'm a traveler. I love traveling.
Oh, where's your favorite place that you traveled so far?
There's different places. One big favorite of mine is England.
All right. Where at in England have you visited the entire country? I got engaged in Blackpool when I was 19, so I like England a lot.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
London, and this is also kind of neat as well. Right after high school, yeah. I had the opportunity of either traveling or starting back into college or starting into college.
Okay.
I actually chose traveling.
Oh, all right. That's the way to go. So.
My family surprised me with a graduation present in traveling Europe for a month.
Oh, wow. So did you get to ride the Eurail and go all around the country and check out different places and stuff? How'd you travel?
Yeah. We never got a car. We never got a car in Europe. We did it all by train.
Yeah, that's a funny. I did that once when I was right after high school. I did the same thing. I went over but I wasn't as adventurous. I was kind of a party teenager. So I went from England straight to Amsterdam and stayed there for a week. And I regret that now. But anyway.
Yeah, I traveled from London, Paris, Austria. And in Austria, I did the Sound of Music tour.
Oh, all right.
Germany, Switzerland, and also everyone's favorite, Rome.
Rome. Why is Rome your favorite? Do you like the history or just the architecture?
Yeah, I'm a big history buff. So whenever I travel, I research things like crazy.
Oh man, yeah, and Rome's is rich with history because I've actually not been to Rome, but I guess if you're interested in Rome, probably the burning of the Library of Alexandria or the Etruscans before the Romans, all kinds of crazy stuff. So now, did your parents how have they been a big impact on your career and your influence?
My whole family loves it, including my grandmother.
Did they get you into acting, or have they when you were younger? Did they take you to auditions and things of that nature? How'd that go?
And Disneyland.
Yeah, you've
been everywhere. And that's another thing I like about Europe as well. I tried Disneyland in Paris.
All right.
The France one. I love the Florida one. I love the one out here. And I also did the Paris one as well. So my family and I are a huge Disney family.
Oh, a huge Disney family. Oh, that's
So my love for theater and the industry is basically who I am.
what are like as far as when you were young then, Disney being a big influence, what's your favorite Disney movie, classic and newer? You hope you get to be in a Disney production one day? Would you like to?
Oh, I love that.
Have you had to audition for any roles at that point yet, or?
That's whatever I'm called whenever the casting needs me.
All right. You here at Disney, Jamie Brewer is looking for you.
Yeah, that and Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's true now with all the streaming.
Disney is Disney Plus now.
Well, what's your favorite classic Disney movie?
I love animation and live action because Disney has both.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually love to do both versions. Do the voiceover for an animation Disney and transition that into live action.
And you talked to me. You've been practicing some voiceover acting, right?
Yes, I have.
You're getting into that. So tell me about that.
I've been doing that all online. It's mainly Zoom.
Okay.
As a group, and it's been over. Like, Voicecaster is the actual name of the place. I've been I've done a level 1 class. I've done a level 2. I'm now in level 3. Level 3 is it all works with like commercial work.
Okay.
As well as now I'm doing commercial work still, and now I'm getting into my most fun thing ever, which is character work, which is animation.
So before I want to ask a little bit about character work with animation because I know that's fun. But explain to me your commercial work.
It's just I get it by print. They send me the scripts.
Okay.
And they'll be like at different time slots, like a 60 or a 30. And we just is showing our natural voice and basically doing and finding our voice through voiceovers.
All right. Do you have when it comes to animation or characters? Do you what kind of voices would you like to play? Do you have any influences with that? Like, say, I've got like Alf was always a big one to me, or this is a silly one, but like and Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So how do you what are some of the inspirations you have for voice acting? What kind of characters would you like to create?
So there's different ones I want to create. I'm actually really good at two for sure.
All right.
Everyone's favorite, Alpine, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
That's a good one there. All right.
And also, I do a really good for a voice of Anna in Frozen.
Oh.
And you want to build a snowman? The young Elsa. No, that's the young Anna.
I like that. That's good. Now, what do you feel about like acting in a booth? Like, do they get on you? Because you know how sometimes like producers, when you're in a voice acting booth, they'll be like, "All right, you need some water. You sound spitty, or you stand too close." Or have you had to? Do you have to get in the booth yet and stand there? And has anybody?
I've done that a few times.
Yeah, it can be so tedious sometimes.
I'm curious though. So you talk about levels when you're learning about voice acting. So I'm relatively naive to this. So how does this work? Like, how many levels are there?
There's different levels for Voicecaster. There's basically 3 levels, and then from there you can go onto different ones. There's other companies up there, but Voicecaster is the best.
Oh, it would be great to do. We've done, we've done some. I've done some audiobooks and stuff before. We have to play like different characters and like you do radio theater, and they're kind of fun because you get to bring like books to life without. You have to like do a lot with your ears. So that's kind of fun. Now, all right, Jamie. Well, we are getting a little bit short on time, so we will probably let you go in a minute. Was there anything that you wanted that we missed or didn't ask you about, or that you would like to say before we let you go?
One big thing is that if I was to give advice to anybody
okay,
that's out there, always be yourself. Show your heart. Use your voice. And always be confident in what you want to do and pursue your own dreams. Don't let anybody knock you down. And always say, and this is also in Spanish, si se puede, which means yes, you can. Always say yes, you can.
All right. And that is the wise words of Jamie Brewer, everybody. Now, Jamie, thank you for taking the time from your very busy schedule to speak with us here tonight. We wish you the very best and hope you'll come back to visit us soon.
Thank you so much.
Jamie Brewer, everybody. And you are listening to The Ghost of Hollywood. I'm Poxy Leonard here with Miss Ragan. Stay tuned because we'll be back to say goodbye right after these messages. What's up, wall crawlers? Going insane for the new episodes of The Ghost of Hollywood? Well, check out our website at theghostofhollywood.com for complete access to our entire second season.
And don't forget to listen, like, and subscribe to The Ghost of Hollywood wherever you get your podcast for all the latest updates and information.
And while you're at it, sign up for our monthly newsletter.
All right, everybody, stay tuned because you're listening to the worst in cult, trash, and cinema. This is The Ghost of Hollywood.
Welcome back to The Ghost of Hollywood. I'm Poxy Leonard here with Miss Ragan, and we've just finished speaking with our friend Jamie Brewer, well known for her acting work in American Horror Story, Amy and the Orphans, and the movie Turnover.
And as an actress with Down syndrome, Jamie has worked incredibly hard throughout her years on the stage to bring awareness to individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities, from having the R word removed from Texas legislature, becoming the first woman with Down syndrome to walk for New York Fashion Week, and her constant support of an incredible list of organizations such as the Best Buddies Program, Shane's Inspiration, and the Los Angeles Down Syndrome Association. If you're listening locally in Portland, you should check out programs such as the Northwest Down Syndrome Association to show support to our community of people with developmental and intellectual disabilities.
And there you have it, wall crawlers. Another episode in the books for Season 3, right here on The Ghost of Hollywood. We'd like to thank our crew here at The Ghost of Hollywood, especially our showrunner, Chris Klon, who has been working on each episode day and night so that we're able to keep bringing you all kinds of awesome material. We'd also like to thank you, the listener, for tuning into each program, because without you, well, that's right, me, Poxy, well, I probably wouldn't exist, literally.
You know, that's kind of funny to think about that. All I have to do is get the plug pulled on this thing and, you're gone forever.
Hey, not so fast, Reagan. I'm a cartoon deal away from becoming more than a vocal entity.
The day you get a cartoon deal? Well,
what?
That's never gonna happen, Poxy.
You don't know that. I'm telling you, when they finally discover me, Reagan...
Give it up, old man. You're never getting out of this lie.
Is that why I don't have a contract?
You don't have a contract?
Why? Do you have a contract?
Well,
what? I want a contract. This garbage. I quit.
But then you won't exist.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everyone. Until next time, this has been another episode of The Ghost of Hollywood. Remember to check out our website at theghostofhollywood.com. And while you're there, sign up for our newsletter.
And remember to listen, like, and you know what? I'm not reading this part because it just makes us sound like some cheap sales pitch.
Poxy.
What, Ray? I'm not doing it. It just doesn't feel natural anymore.
You know what? Whatever. I don't care. Not like it's our job or anything.
Job or not. And that's all it is, wall crawlers. That's all I got. That's all for this episode. So, until next time.
Good morning and good night.
You've been listening to another episode of The Ghost of Hollywood. The Ghost of Hollywood is directed by Zach Flannery. The show is authored by Chris Klon and Zach Flannery. Composition samples and score by Jesse Garcia in Pineapple Nightmare. Production management by Mary Flannery at the Electric Garden Company. And mastering by Grady Sizemore and Microphonic Meltdown in Portland, Oregon. For more information on The Ghost of Hollywood, please visit theghostofhollywood.com.